Good morning. My name is Karen Kong, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and welcome to my Crafting to Go series for the month of January. I decided to try something new for 2026, and if you've watched my lives previously, you'll know that this is normally a this or that Thursday, and I would post 2 cards and you guys would choose which card for me to make live. But for 2026, I've decided to change things up a little bit. So my Crafting to Go series is a set of 4 cards in January and 4 cards in February, and you can qualify, if you place a qualifying order with me, then you can get these card kits for all the cards I make in January for free, or all the cards in February for free. You can message me for more details, but there's more information on my Facebook page. You'll find that link in my bio, I believe. Or you can message me for more information. So for January's series, I am using the Sweet Bugs bundle, and we are making all the cards with the Sweet Bugs bundle. So this is called a Joy Fold Fun Fold because it opens like this. Okay, really easy to do, and if you get one of my free card kits, you'll get all the pieces to make this card. So let me just get my computer set up so I can see all your comments when we are crafting. Good morning, Shirley. Thanks for joining me. Just give me a second while I get that set up. And if you're joining in, please say hi. Join in the conversation. I enjoy having people to talk to because it's no fun just talking to myself. Ask questions. Tell me where you're watching from if you've never watched with me before, and if you're watching on YouTube, as my daughter would say, like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Let me just get this going. All right, my Facebook is up and live, and let me just switch over to my desktop and you can see what we are crafting today. So close your eyes. I'm just going to reposition my camera. So it is a very snowy day here in Ottawa. The snow started this morning. We're expecting a whole dump of snow. My sister in Markham has told me that the snow is so high that they've actually not only canceled buses, but they also closed the schools, which is really unusual. So it's a perfect day to stay in and join me for crafting and to do some crafting yourself, I think. So perfect for this card. I intended it for a birthday, and I think that relax is a good sentiment to use for a birthday card. I was also debating using enjoy. You guys can think about that and vote on which sentiment for me to use for the card that I'm making today. Like I said, this is a joy fun fold, so it opens like this, which is super easy and it looks impressive. And if you'll notice, I used the mushrooms for the first time in this set, and it was so fun to create with. I'm going to show you how I made these little mushrooms. And I dragged out a retired stitched greenery die for the background because I think it makes a very nice subtle background for this card. Okay, so if you get my card kits, you will get everything pre-cut. So I've already pre-cut a whole bunch of the pieces, the card base, the DSP and such, but I did leave a few things to do together. If you notice, this is a tree ring from the tree ring set. Let's see, this is the Ringed with Nature bundle that it came from. So I have some leftover pieces. So the first card I made with a tree ring that was cut out of crumb cake. And for the second card, I have a piece made out of pecan pie, which matches the brown that's in the DSP. So we'll see which one looks better, and you guys can vote on which one looks better with the card afterwards. So let's see. I think we should do some die cutting first. I wanted to show you some tricks with cutting these letters and get all the rest of the pieces ready. So most of it's ready. Let's get the rest of it ready. I'm just going to bring in my cut and emboss machine. I already die cut with the stitched greenery die. Let me just quickly show you that. That's this one. I love this one. It's an old one, but it's a really, really good one. Okay, I'm gonna make some room on my desk for the pieces we need to die cut. Good morning, Sandra. All right, so here's the cut and emboss machine, and I have a little bug that needs to be cut. And of course, I'm wondering, where did I put it? Did I just saw it a second ago. Let's see. Oh, he's here. All right. Here's the little bug, and I'm going to die cut the mushrooms as well. Good morning, Tara. You made it back from your walk on time. Okay, let's bring in a scrap of white, and I'm going to take out the Cute as a Bug or Sweet Bugs dies. So let me just take this out of the envelope. So I used a big and a small mushroom, and these things actually, they look like leaves, but they're actually they are the mushroom caps, but I've seen other demonstrators use these as leaves as well, so dual purpose. Okay, and I'm also going to cut out like a little dragonfly and a snail. I think that's all I need to die cut. Okay, let's put these aside. Oh, and I need my little bug. That's this one. Which ladybug are you? Oh, you're the ladybug embellishment for this set. Is that what you're talking about, Tara? Yeah, the ladybug embellishments are super, super cute. I used them last week. I don't have plans to use it today, but let's work on the card. I don't think it needs a ladybug. I'm going to use the little snail die cut. Okay, so let's set these out. And I'll show you how I brush on the colors for the mushrooms. And I finally got to use this white jelly roll pen that I've had for ages, and I haven't had an opportunity to try it out. And today we will use that marker. Just looking for my top plate. Oh, the ladybug with the book. I see. Yes. All right, let's run this through. And I just need my stylus to poke this out. These guys are so tiny, gotta be careful not to lose them. I think I'm going to leave it right in the die for now, and I'm going to put it in my magnetic plate so I don't lose it. Go. All right, so what else do we have to die cut? Oh, the letters. I wanted to show you how I do the letters. So this is the, what is this? Mini alphabets die. And rather than cutting the entire sheet of paper with all the letters that I don't actually need, I want to focus on just getting the letters I need. So I need an E and an X. So I have enough letters from the first time I die cut to make parts of the word relax and enjoy. So I need an E at the very least, and I need an X. So I don't need to die cut everything. And I was kind of thinking, oh, I want to be able to position these, but when it goes down like this, I can't see where the letters are, obviously, but I thought a little harder and realized I could do this the other way. I'll make a little sandwich the other way, and I'll show you in a second. I'm just cutting some pieces. Okay, so rather than using an entire sheet of paper, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top plate, and if you don't know this trick, I always keep my top plate as a top plate and my bottom as a bottom, and I flip them over when I'm using them, but I keep the top as the top and the bottom as the bottom so that they stay flat. Okay, so this is the way my die is going to lie on my top. Okay, so I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to put my little pieces of paper here where I can see where the letters are going to be. Okay, there's my X. So I've covered up the X and the E there, and then I'm going to take my bottom plate and I'm going to lie it on top. Now I think, you know, you could probably just run it through as is like this, but I'm just going with my usual, and I'm going to flip it over because this is the way I normally do it. I don't think there's any reason why you can't just leave it as is, but I'm just following my normal convention. Okay, so now that you know, I've got my sandwich and I know where my paper is, I'm flipping it over, and that way I won't have to use a whole sheet of paper just to die cut 2 letters. Alright. I don't know why I never thought of this before. I'm sure some of you are probably thinking, yeah, well, duh, of course I do it like that. I did not think of doing it like that before. So now I figured it out, and I will use my sandwich upside down, create my sandwich upside down, and then flip it over when I am ready to die cut. Okay, so I've got a couple of extra letters here. Let's get that scrap out of the way. Yeah, Tara, I never planned on using, like, die cutting an entire sheet. I just feel like I'm going to end up with a whole bunch of waste if I do that. So that's how I got around it. Okay, so let's bring that card back in so you can see it. Put this away. All right. So if you notice that these are blended on, okay? So we have all the pieces except for my mushroom. I'm going to show you how to blend the mushrooms, okay? I need a scrap piece of paper. And if you don't have blending brushes, you can also color these in. There's no reason why you can't just color it in using blends, markers. I just find that this is a softer look, okay? So this underside, or the stem of the mushrooms, I'm going to do it in crumb cake. So let me bring in my blending brush. Open this up. Okay, so I'm going to hold the head so I have more control over it. And I always tap off on the side just to make sure if there's any excess ink, I don't get a big blob the first time I touch my die cut. So I get like a really dark area. So now I'm just going to blend on my ink, and I always start off to the side and then I go on to the die cut. Okay. And that, again, is just to avoid any excess ink from being a blob on whatever you're trying to color. So the top part of the mushroom will be covered. So I'm going to concentrate my blending efforts on the bottom half. And I'm going to make it a little bit darker, like kind of underneath the cap, because I figure that's the darker part, right, on a normal mushroom. So we'll do the same thing to this one. And there, I think there's no way to avoid having your fingers get a little bit of ink on them, but I don't think there's much ink. I'm just trying to hold it down while I blend. So like I said, I'm just trying to make it a little bit darker underneath the mushroom, because that's kind of where the shading is going to be. And I mean, on a normal mushroom, the underside is very dark. So that doesn't have to be perfect, because this mushroom cap is going to be covered, right? So let's put those aside. I also need, oh, I do have the snail, which I'm going to do in crumb cake as well. So let me just poke him out. And he's tiny. And his spiral is actually cut as well. I just realized I poked it out by accident. Okay, so I saw another demonstrator do this. I can't take credit for the idea, but she took like a scrap piece of paper with a little round area cut out, and that's so I can color the shell darker than the body. Okay, so I could do the whole body at once, but I'll just show you how I did this shell. I'm just going to cover up, oops, the body area in general, and then we'll color the shell there. Oh yeah, the toadstools will look good with gnomes, that's right. Oops, he moved. I like how it worked with my tree rings though, so I was happy to bring that out. Okay. I'm just trying to get the shell a bit darker. Okay, so now his shell's dark, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of color to his body. All right, so now my snail is colored in. Okay, the fun part is getting the mushrooms colored. So let's do that. So the color is Cajun Craze for the red, and it's crushed curry for the yellow mushroom. I actually have 2 mushrooms in red already ready to go. So I'm just going to keep that guy. I will do this one. Actually, let's do both. We'll have fun with this. So it's crushed curry. Sorry, no, this one is Cajun Craze. Sorry. Cajun Craze. It's like a dark reddish brown. I always thought of it as more of a brown color, but now that I've rarely used it, but it's actually the color in this mushroom here in the DSP, so that's why I chose it. And it's more red than I expected, because I originally thought this red was maybe cherry cobbler, but when I brought out the paper, I realized that it was absolutely not cherry cobbler, and I looked at the coordinating colors in the DSP and realized that it was Cajun Craze. Okay, so I'm doing the mushroom cap here. Let's do the small one in red. So really, I'm just blending on from the top down so that the top of my mushroom is the darkest. But you can do whatever you like. You can make the edges darker and do it that way, because maybe that's what you would like to do, but it's totally up to you. But my mushrooms for this card, the top of the mushroom cap is the darkest. Okay, so I'm working top down. So there's that one. Okay, you can see my nails turning red. Let's bring in crushed curry. And I'm going to move to a fresh area, because I have found that if I blend from an old brushed area, I have picked up that color before by accident. So now I know better. This is quite dark. So again, I'm doing top down. Okay, I think that's pretty good. It's pretty dark. There are probably smaller blending brushes out there, but I find that this one is fine. It's just that, you know, the die cut is just so small and my fingers can't help but get in the way in order to be able to hold it. Okay, so let's glue them on. I'm going to bring over my silicone mat for this. Okay, you can see that I laid out my previously cut letters, so I can set that up. What do you think? Should this card be relax or should it be enjoy? Okay. Okay, so here's how they go on top. Here's the little guy. So you see that this section here is not covered. So I'm just going to put dots of glue in that area. And you can do it the other way around too. You put on the mushroom cap itself. Either way. Just going to put one little dot of glue to hold down that end of the mushroom cap. There we go. Or you can do it this way. There is a little slit there in the top, in the middle, sorry, in the middle of the mushroom cap. So just don't put any glue in that. Just trying to catch up on the conversation in the comments. There we go. Okay, so now I've got them put together and you're wondering how those little white dots came to be. This is not a Stampin' Up! Product. This is something else that I bought originally for my daughter, actually, and I thought that it would be really useful for me too, so I got one. It's a jelly roll pen, and it's just white, so it goes on top of the ink, and I'm just going to make little white dots. And you can use it, I've seen it used a lot for like animal faces and stuff. I think that would be, they look really cute, like with like accent lines, and it just looks really good. Okay, so there's like a bunch of white dots on that one. I'm usually not very good with random, but here we go. And I'm finding with this jelly roll pen that I need to sometimes go back over some of the dots because they seem to fade. You see that one's like a little bit faded. That one is brighter because I think I went over them again. I think that's good. Okay, so easy peasy. Just gonna add a little bit more white here so they stand out a little bit more. All right, I think we're ready. Okay, so Shali said to use enjoy. Okay. All right, so let's make some room and we will assemble a card now. Let's grab all the pieces. Okay, so here's the bigger card base underneath. I'm just going to fold that over. Okay, and we'll put on the DSP. So it's going to go like this and like this. So I'm going to use glue. And as always, I always put it down kind of at a 45-degree angle until I've eyeballed if the spacing on the top, bottom, and left are about right, and then I check the right side before it's had a chance to set and just adjust as needed. Okay. So I leave, if you haven't noticed, I leave the center of the DSP empty of glue so I have some place to put my fingers without getting glue all over them when I'm holding it. Here, it's nice that the glue gives you a few seconds to adjust, so I made sure these lined up and matched up. Okay, so here's the other card base. So this is exactly in half, so it doesn't matter which side you use for decorating. Okay, so let's turn it this way. Now don't forget, you're going to be putting it in backwards from the way you normally use it, so let's make sure that we don't forget that. Now I wouldn't put too much glue on this as well because the stitched greenery die does poke holes in the paper, so if you have a lot of glue, it's going to come oozing out through the holes. Okay. Okay, so I'm just kind of nudging it over because I can see there's not enough space on the right side. There we go. All right, I'm going to finish decorating it here before I attach it here, okay? So with this piece of tree ring. I forgot that I had actually added a little bit of shading here, but I don't think it's really noticeable underneath everything. So I had actually taken a blending brush on the original tree ring in crumb cake and taken some crumb cake ink, and I had brushed it around the edges to give it some shading, but I don't think I did very much, and you can't really tell. So I'm just going to put this one on. This is pecan pie, and we'll just put it right here. And I think what I did actually is I actually assembled the little tree ring before I attached it to the card. So let's do this. Let's move these out of the way here. Okay, so let's do it this way. So I'm going to just lay out my pieces. So let's take one of the mushrooms, I'll put a second mushroom here, and I think I just centered it around the cuts here in the middle, and I leave room for a dragonfly on the side, and this guy will go right on top. So I'm just kind of laying it out to just double check that I can fit everything before I go ahead and glue it down. I'm going to move it over just a little bit to the left to leave room for the first letter here. Okay, so now that I laid it out, I'm just going to put glue behind the stem of this mushroom because it's not going onto the paper yet. I have it on the silicone. Okay. And the mushroom head is not on the tree ring. So let's put this here. And I can see here I'm going to put the glue on the back of halfway, well, maybe a little bit more than halfway down of the stem. Okay. And then this little guy goes on dimensionals here. So because I know he covers up most of the middle here, I'm going to put the dimensional right in between because I don't want it to lie partly on the stems. I want it to lie completely between them. Okay, I can see this is not going to fit. So I'm going to go and get my mini dimensionals and we'll use those instead. Let's see. Put one here. I'm just going to double check. And I think I'm going to put one on the back of his feet too. Let's see if that fits. Oh yeah, just enough room. Okay. So let's take off the backings. And I think I'm going to cover up the little cutouts in the middle of the tree ring completely. Okay. And there is, oh, I forgot to color my butterfly, the dragonfly. I just realized that. Let's do that. I'm gonna find the die. Here's my dragonfly. And that was just a little bit of crushed curry. I'm not even going to try to hold this down with my finger because I think it'll be too hard, but let's see. Actually, you know what? There's probably still enough ink on here because it's quite dark. Let's see if I can just do it with whatever's on here. Oh yeah. There we go. so we'll stick him on too. Just a second. He just needs a tiny dot of glue. Okay, now that he's all assembled, I think I can put this on my little mini card. Okay, so because I use dimensionals on my bug, I'm not going to put the tree ring on a dimensional. I found out over Christmas that the cards that had too many layers did not qualify for the regular postage rate. So I'm trying to make this mailing friendly if I do end up sending it out by mail. So now I'm going to put glue on the back of my tree ring, and I will put glue on the back of my mushroom heads as well. And I will be careful not to put them on the little cuts here so that I don't get any glue coming through. Okay, whoop, that's turning. Let's hold it up here instead. Okay, so I'm going to put it maybe 1/4 of an inch from the edge, from the left, to leave enough room. Oh, I'm wondering if I have like a bigger tree ring. No. Seems like, oh, you know what? I think I probably positioned my mushrooms a little higher than my original card. So that's why it's looking like, do you see, like it's lower down on my card? So perhaps we should put that a little bit lower down next time. Okay, so when you're laying out, lay out on top of your card, and then you'll know how much room you have. Okay, so if we go with enjoy, maybe because it's, oh, you know what, I'm going to put the little snail down too before I lose him. We're going to put him on top of the mushroom cap. Okay, so because this is lower down than my original card, let's see if it looks better with the enjoy a little bit higher up. I wonder if I could put it here instead. Let's try this out. This is live crafting, reality crafting as I like to call it. Okay, so I'm laying it out so that I make sure I have enough room, because the original try, I had actually ended up with my letters off the card when I was like trying this out for the first time. So I could do it like that. What do you think? Should I put it up there? I think it looks a bit more balanced up there rather than trying to put it down here. Because like I said, my original card, I put the mushrooms lower down, right? You can tell by the stems. I think it looks better like this for this one. So let's go with that. Okay. So I'm going to have to put the letters fairly close. Okay. So this color here is Secret Sea. It's not quite navy. It's an interesting shade of blue. I'm liking it. I cut this from the pack of like multi-colored in-color pack, which came in handy because I didn't want to commit to an entire pack of paper because I wasn't sure if I would like it enough. And so this is a good way to try it out. And the last one. Actually, I won't, you know, if I had enough room, I'd want to put an exclamation mark, but I don't think I do. I think it would be, yeah, there's no room for an exclamation mark. It'd be too tight. It's pretty tight as it is, actually. And there we go. Enjoy. All right, so now that that is all put together, we can attach it to the main card. Okay, so I'm just going to put glue on the back of here, and then we're going to center it in the middle of this inside, and then you just have to open it up and close it, okay? Really easy. All right, so let's go ahead and center this. And I like that the glue gives me a few seconds to kind of move it around and just double check visually. I think that looks straight. All right, so now you just open up and close it. All right, so the last thing is to put the inside piece in. You can stamp that if you want beforehand with other images if you like. I haven't decided if I want to stamp anything. This original card, I just left it blank for you to fill in with whatever you know the person wants to use it for. It could be birthday, could be, I don't know, maybe it was a gift, maybe it'll be a gift card for the spa, for something else, for a thank you. So it could be used in many different ways, I think. So I think I'm just going to leave it blank because it's not a huge space to write. So I can always stamp something later, but you can decide for yourself. And voila, there is your card. Super cute. Very easy. And this is called the Joy Fun fold again. And there's variations on this fold, but I think this is generally what is called a Joy Fun fold. So super easy, looks impressive, and I hope anybody who's getting my card kits are going to enjoy making this card together with me and use my video. I will post this video on YouTube later, and everything will be there for you to watch once you're ready to make the cards. So enjoy. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you're not getting my card kits, you can use this for other DSP in your stash and make something of your own creation. So I will see you next week for card number 3 in this series. Have a great day and take some time to craft, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.